Hello, Nick. We are in the this is the winter 1778 turn. Um, as is usual during winter turns, there's only two action pulses. Everybody in this part, the northern part, can only go two movement points, and in the south, it's still the same. We're going to need to worry about attrition. Get that get that figured out. Make sure everybody's on a space that can support themselves. Which the British moving Burgoyne down to Ticonderoga might not have been that intelligent. So we'll have to do something about about all the people here. Clinton down in the swamps of Georgia is he's got to do something to get back somewhere, and same with Gates. So, yeah, one, and then so just to show kind of my confusion. I mean, not confusion. I know what I'm going to do. I got it figured out. But just an example of just not conciseness in the rules of the game. So there's this card, the Six Nations card, which basically gives all the rules for the Six Nations. In here, I wish, like, Six Nations units are activated at no AP cost. They should have just said they can't move unless they have one of these leaders leading them. It could have been so simplified and more concise, and that it annoys me. But here's another thing. So at the start of every winter turn, all Six Nation tribes are immediately placed in their respective villages at no AP cost. If the tribe space is occupied by enemy SP, the tribe is destroyed. So we're at the beginning of the first winter, the start of every winter turn. Okay, so right now, like, if these guys weren't in their spots, they would just have to go back, and that's it. Great. But then you look on the sequence of play, and if you look here on winter turns, it says after both players have moved 2 action rounds, all this stuff, and then it has all Six Nations units return to their respective villages. So, I mean, already we've got conflicting things. The Six Nations card says at the beginning of the winter turn, and this says would imply it's at the end. So it's just, I'm going to do it at the beginning. I mean, they're already there, and I almost think it's kind of implied that, like, they're just supposed to go back home during the winter, not do any moving. But that's beside the point. It's frustrating when there's just things like that conflict, things that are vague. It's just it's an annoyance. But anyways, so besides the normal attrition stuff that we need to worry about with winter quartering, that we need to make sure. This is a special year where we're going to have to worry about British withdrawal. This is so it says a compulsory British withdrawal is triggered when the colonials achieve their first major victory. That never happened. We haven't had any major victories. I think that's when there's 5 or more SP that are forced to surrender. I'm not sure if that's like it has to be regulars. I'm not for certain on that. We've never had the case where anybody's really surrendered, so it doesn't matter. If no major victory is achieved by the fall of 1777, withdrawal occurs during the winter of 1778. So the British are going to have to worry about this turn. This occurs during the first or second British AP of the winter turn at no cost. I'm going to do it probably at the end of the second. And then French seasonal reinforcements will arrive by the summer of 1778. So I think What that means is early spring, late spring, there's rolls where they come in earlier, and if they don't come in with those rolls, then they come in early summer. So what does this British withdrawal mean? It means the British player immediately removes 12 SP of British regulars, not Germans, from the 13 colonies and or Canada. 12 SP of regulars. I remember, I don't know, few game years back, I was worried I was going to be below the 12 for when this happened, but I hope I'm above it. But that's a lot of SP that I'm going to have to take out of the colonies. And then those 12 4 SP per space are distributed among the 3 British possessions in the Caribbean. So that's over here. And currently the British possessions have garrisons on them. But they're going to also have 4 SP each added. Which means I'm going to have to learn and get intimate with the Caribbean rules, which, I don't know, to tell you the truth, I'm not sure I'm all that excited about, but I don't know. I'm going to try to give it a go. I know so there's the full campaign game, which I started with. They also have where you can start in 1778 when the French and the Caribbean is in play. So, I mean, I always could just call it a day here and say I'm going to get back to it sometime, or when I start with that scenario, but I don't know. I doubt, never know. I mean, there's games that I've been wanting to get back to that I've played, I don't know how long ago that I haven't, and games that I have that I've never played that I have in my mind, like, yeah, I want to play that, and I didn't get to. So it's just, too much stuff, and I've just gotten a whole bunch of stuff seems to be arriving lately. Napoleon, I'd love to get that on the table. My side table's a mess. I've got a game there that I kind of, it's a solo role-playing game. Ironsworn Starforged, if that means anything to anybody. But I'm at a point where, like, I needed to get through a certain spot, and then I could take it off the table and basically kind of play it anywhere. But I kind of have it laid out, and I need to get back to it. It's been a while. But I mean, I've got Quick Decks Hockey that I had that I wanted to play. I've got the full play basketball game that I wanted to play. But Napoleon, man, I really want to get into that. I've been avoiding watching videos of play because I want to kind of get into it myself before I see other people playing it and stuff. But anyways, that's putting pressure on me to get this done. But maybe I can get it set up on my side table. Anyways, back to the British withdrawal. The final bulletin point on this is failure to comply forfeits the game in favor of the colonials. So I guess, as the British, I could just fail to comply with that, and then the game would be called. But no, we'll try to continue on. But just a little discussion there. Basically, the Brit. You know what? Let's go ahead and roll the initiative. It's going to be some problems if this comes out to a tie, and I hope not. All right, it's not. The colonials will go first, and then the British. So looks like we're going to be able to get, the British are going to be able to get into a position where they are not going to be overstacked. However, I mean, with that withdrawal, I could just pull people off and probably circumvent it. So anyways, we'll do this turn and get back. Okay, end of the winter turn. Quick recap. So down here in the south, Gates, who was here, activated. They got full movement down here, and he successfully activated for a change. Went 1, 2, 3, 4 up to there. So he's on a key spot, which can support up to 10. So he's good. Clinton activated from here and just went into there. Up north, Burgoyne maybe shouldn't have been so quick with his move, but it did give the colonials a little pause. But Burgoyne stayed in Fort Ticonderoga, and Radiesel took out the excess. So there's 10 in here of mostly Germans and some loyalists, some British regulars with Burgoyne. Radiesel has he's got to command more German troops than British troops, so he's got five Germans, 3 British royalists. He took the 1 stars with him, which actually, you know what, we're gonna leave. We're gonna leave Rowden back here, and then for the final colonial activation, J. Thomas moved from here with his couple regulars, picked up some, or no, there was no regulars left in here. He just went to here, joined up with these other regulars. So he's got 5 regulars that he can do what he wants with. So looking at attrition, well, we're going to do the British are just going to do their withdrawal before the attrition. But I thought I'd show. So we're going to take 1 from here. Going to take 3 from here. So that makes that 5. 5 on a dot space is good for attrition. We're going to take 2 from here. So Fraser will keep 5 with himself. And then we're going to take 6 from Clinton. So this has definitely weakened the British in the colonies. But the way I understand it at this point in the war, they didn't really figure that they were going to have a chance to take over, or control the colonies. So then they needed to worry about their Caribbean fines, or not fines, they're, you know what I mean. All right, so I need to turn these all into 4s and put them on those 3 spots. And that is it for the winter turn. Forgot with that, with winter, the colonials had to check for attrition and expired enlistments. And for the 1778 winter turn, it's a quarter SP rounded down. So what that ended up giving us is J. Thomas here's last move screwed him. Loses 1 there because he had 4. And then the only other spot that had 4 was, where was it? There was a spot, maybe, it was in the army, Washington's army. He had 4, so now he only has 3 in there. So that's that, all caught up. All right, so early spring, 1778. Let me try to go over everything that happened. During the winter turn, that one, the Howe fleet that was stationed over here at Charlotte would have went back to Europe. I always forget that. It didn't come into play at all. So for the British, so Howe, who was commanding the Army of the South here, he was removed. Cornwallis, who was also in that army, was promoted, so he's now in charge of that. And Clinton, who's been down here playing, try to smack the mole, and Gates is promoted. Kind of a waste for him being a 3-star general down there, but we can transfer, which I have to remember to do. Carleton flipped to Haldimand. He's the guy over here in Quebec that's kind of the governor of Canada. He was replaced by Haldimand. 3 loyalists could be added to any friendly controlled key space, not in Canada. We went ahead and, I don't know, maybe not the best idea, but we added them added them to Clinton. So we've got 4 loyalists and a regular down here, trying to just hold things together. Byron's fleet was added in Europe. Howe's fleet was replaced with Hood's fleet over there in Europe. And Butler was added to the British leader pool here. Brant was already with the brain was already with the Mohawk, so nothing there. We deployed magazines, Fort Ticonderoga, and here in Baltimore, and down with Clinton. Didn't have anybody. You got to have a regular for the British, and they didn't have anybody there in the New England area. So that's basically everything that happens for the British, other than I need to do leader transfers, which I got to kind of look at the situation. Maybe I should have done that before everything else, but yeah, who cares? So early spring for the Colonials, they get to do rolls on the Continental Levy tables, and wow, did they have some good rolls. Here in New Hampshire, Massachusetts area, they got the max of 8. So got 4 here, got 4 added in with Putnam. What else was it? Connecticut, Rhode Island got none. Connecticut got the max of 4. New York got 2, so they go in here at the fort in Albany to help defend. Well, I'll just put that there for now. Help defend whatever's happening there. New Jersey got 2 here in Monmouth. Pennsylvania got 2, which we add to Washington's army. And down in the Deep South, they got 1, which Gates is going to happily, if I can, you know what, we'll just, we'll flip that over to a 2. And everything's happy. So Gates is pretty happy. He's got, he's back to his full amount that he did have of regulars. What else is there? I think that's it. We are going to do leader transfers, and we have to roll to see if the French arrive. There was more. Hold on. So magazines, again, as the Colonials, I just don't feel the need to play magazines. I don't want to give the British an opportunity to take one and then be able to use it for their attack supply or line of communication, whatever you want to call it. Sullivan went into the leader pool there. Lincoln got promoted, so he's down here in Delaware there, holding out with 5 militia, but he's a 3-star now, so we might want to transfer him somewhere that we could have him form an army. And that is that. So let's look at, while we're doing this, I can make a roll. Let's see what the French entry is. Man, I swear I just been looking at that a little bit ago. Oh, wait, where is it? I swear. Oh, my heavens. This is... So it's not... Oh, okay. It's right. It's right here on the colonial chart. All right. So it looks like we are going to roll a d6, and if it's a 1 to 2, then the Stang and 6 seasonal SPs are going to show up. So if this is a 1 or a 2, the French will arrive, and it's a 5. So they do not. So it will just be a normal turn otherwise. Let's roll for initiative while we got you here. So the British will get it. And we're going to have a full 4 action pulses, at least at the moment. British have the first initiative, and we'll go from there. Oh, you know what I forgot? We can do this while I got you here too. We forgot to do cards. Let's see who went first last time. I always kind of do it in that order. I think the British did. So first, so they each have 2 cards. So we'll have to draw 2 for each. We'll draw for the British. Oh, you know what? I gotta add cards. Yeah, so much to do. So I gotta add all the 1778 cards in, and then reshuffle the discard pile in. So maybe we'll just tell you what they got next time. So unbelievably, and after what I think was a good amount of shuffling and such, the top 4 cards were battle cards. So they now have those card they had before left, and each have 2 battle cards. Of course, they don't know that, but wow, what a boring draw. So, little maneuvering here with leader transfers. Clinton, who had been down there playing cat and mouse with Gates, he moved up here with Fraser. Since he's a 3-star, he could actually he could command an army. Though there's already an army of the South, so one of them has to move up. Other option was to move him up with Rediesel. Or no, not Rediesel. No, forget that. Grant. So Grant assumed control down here. He was already down there. St. Ledger, who can command some of the 6, or move some of the 6 Nations forces, he will go there. I think that was it for the British. The Colonials did some maneuvering. Jay Thomas, who had been there, moved up to take command of those 4 regulars in Portsmouth. Schuler, who had been manning there, remember he was a 3-star at one time. He transferred to there. C.H. Lee, who'd been where Lincoln is in Albany, he had moved those troops up. He transferred here to hopefully hold this flank that's been there for a while. Lincoln, did I mention Lincoln? So he had been here. He was promoted to a 3-star. He moved up to Albany, where he could, I think, yeah, there's 5 regulars there. So he could create an army right away. And Gates down here, man, if he could, he's only got 2 regulars. If they could get him some more regulars, he would be pretty potent. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think the South, I probably shouldn't have even bothered with those loyalists down there, because I think the South is, the only reason I kind of did that, because I thought, like, man, we want to hold St. Augustine, but that's in peril, and, you know, Gates could still run up, do his one plan where he wants to come up here and clear out the Tidewater, so it's going to be interesting. All right, so this video is already getting kind of long, just with a little bit that we've done so far. So I thought I'd just kind of finish it off with talking about what it means for when the French comes in, the specific rules for that. So we already rolled for them coming in early spring, so they won't. Late spring, we'll make another roll. And if it's a 1 to 4, they'll come in. Otherwise, they'll arrive in early summer. And when they are activated, they're going to get 2 SP on each of the 4 French possessions in the Caribbean, which I guess are this one, those 2 down there. That says 4. I guess I'm not sure what other French possession there is. That might be a misprint, who knows. So they're going to get 2 SP on each of those. And then the French seasonal forces Admiral D'Estaing's fleet are placed in either the Deep South blockade zone or one of the two Caribbean OBZs. What's OBZ mean again? Ocean blockade zone. And then the permanent forces and the fleet of Admiral Rochambeau will be placed in the Europe box 6 turns after that. And then, so French, the land units, they are moved by their fleets. It's not like the fleet capacity for the British, where their fleets are kind of, they don't really move their fleet units, I should say, don't move the land units, but they can. I think if like if they're on a coast and they're defeated and forced to retreat, if there is a fleet in that spot with them, they can retreat them out of there. But other than that, the fleets are just kind of there for combat and support. But French, they have to move with the fleet. They don't have any separate transport capacity. Yeah, and I'm pretty, let's see, where was, so during the late summer turn, the fleets must leave the Caribbean, and if they fail to do so, then they're just, you throw them back in the Europe box or Halifax, Newport. For two fleets, one trying to move, or one moves into the other location. If both, I believe if both sides want a battle, it happens automatically. Otherwise, one side can try to intercept the other. And I don't know, there's certain modifiers for a fleet combat that can come into effect. I think you roll for the weather gauge, which is just an opposed roll, and that's pretty important. You get a +2 for that. There's a size modifier or odds modifier. Rodney's fleet gets a bonus. Spanish fleets they get bad modifiers. And then it's just a roll off then, I believe, or no, you roll with the modifiers, and either the attacker has to go for repairs, the defender has to go for repairs, or they both do, and that just, they go on the turn chart so many turns in the future. So that fleet combat seems pretty simple. The fleets can blockade if they're in one of the blockade zones. They're basically blockading any line of communication out of there. So that's going to be important for the British. If that gets closed off. What else is there? Caribbean units can never be blockaded, but they can be attacked. So basically, we're going to be using, in the Caribbean, we're going to be using, as the British, their transport capacity. As the other nations, they have to go with the ships and can try to take over, amphibious assault those spots. Fleets moving with the arrows, it only costs 1. If you move against them, it's going to cost 2. And let's see, the French, what is it? So D'Estaing, who's going to come in first, he comes with 6 SP. These are seasonal troops. And they always have to end their movement in a coastal port/port space with a French fleet, or the OBZ, the blockade zone, has a French fleet in it. And if they fail to do that, they're automatically removed. So they're kind of limited a little bit in what they can do. They gotta make sure they stay right there, supported by the fleet. Cannot be broken down to occupy spaces, so they're pretty much 6 SP unit, and they can be whittled away. You can't break them down. What else was there? Oh, the permanent French regulars that arrive with Rochambeau, they can be broken down once during the entire game. And Rochambeau, they have to be within 2 spaces of a coastal port space containing the fleet at the end of their movement. Or they can be in the coastal port hex, and the fleet can be in the OBZ. And that's pretty much it on that. Caribbean, you can't have more than 4 SP on a space. British can only be moved by naval transport. France, Spain, and the Netherlands can only move with their fleets. So when you try to do that amphibious assault, you get that bad -3 modifier. And fleets have to engage in naval combat before an amphibious assault can occur. Attacking fleets defeated, the attack is canceled, and those SP retreat with the fleet to the closest friendly space. If the attacking fleet is successful, the defending fleet retreats to the closest friendly port, not the one he just defended, and the attacking fleet remains where it is. So it doesn't seem that bad. And the rules for supporting this. It's not stated anywhere that I've seen, but I would assume that as the British, I can't just go grab these ports, these spaces in the Caribbean before the foreign nation is activated. Otherwise I would use all my actions during this early spring turn to go take those 3 French spots in the Caribbean. Even though the foreign entry card says 4, I only see 3 of those blue spots. So, anyways, I believe that's pretty much it. We'll end things there, and when we come back, it'll be the recap of the early spring turn. Laters.